You have no
As
idea.
Chris Dodd says?
Sounds like an old-fashioned word, like whippersnapper.
Tomfoolery.
Exactly.
Somebody said that yesterday.
Federal Reserve Chairman Ben Bernanke is expressing optimism that the economic recovery will keep its positive momentum. Speaking before the Joint Economic Committee yesterday, Bernanke said moderate recovery had begun, but warned that reducing unemployment will take a significant amount of time. Bernanke also pushed lawmakers to address the record-high budget deficits.
Although sizable deficits are unavoidable in the near term, maintaining the confidence of the public and financial markets requires that policymakers move decisively to set the federal budget on a trajectory towards sustainable fiscal balance. Addressing the country's fiscal problems will require difficult choices, but postponing them will only make them more difficult.
Mort Zuckerman, let's take the first part of this news story. The economy. You're one of America's business leaders. Is this economy turning around?
I think it's getting better. I don't know if it's getting better in terms that a lot of people in this country will be happy with, because there still is a very high level of unemployment or partial unemployment, and home prices, which is 2/3 of the American public own their own homes, home prices are still soft and the home market is still weak, and a lot of homes are going to be coming on the market just because they're going to be foreclosed. So we're not out of the woods, but I think we're definitely making progress.
Getting better. Our buddy Lawrence Kudlow wrote in National Review that he's expecting a V-shaped recovery, that he thinks good times are coming.
Well, I hope he's right. I'm a little bit more cautious than that. I'm not nearly that optimistic about it. And frankly, the pessimists have been proven correct over the last couple of years. Yeah. Nevertheless, I think, there's been a huge fiscal stimulus, a huge monetary stimulus in the economy, and it's having its effect. But the question is, will it be sustainable?
And Mika, Ben Bernanke issues yet another warning about high deficits.
Yeah.
And
he's not alone.
He's talking to people that just don't listen. They don't. Congress just doesn't listen. The White House doesn't listen. This White House doesn't listen. This Congress doesn't listen. The Bush White House didn't listen. The Republican Congress didn't listen.
I think
they're not listening. They just want to give away goodies to their constituents, and they just want to expand the entitlement state in Washington, D.C. Obama has done it now, and Bush did it with a $7 trillion Medicare expansion.
I think they're listening. I actually think to say that they are not listening
they're
is
not
not
listening.
fair.
No, they're not listening.
The White House will tell you that the health reform plan and other efforts that they have look toward reducing the deficit. They've talked about it before. I think not as much as you'd like it to be done, but you should say what you think should be cut, because you ask that of all Republicans that come on and they can't seem to answer. But you seem to have that answer.
Well, yeah, of course I do. And the thing is also,
because something has to be cut.
If the Obama administration is serious about deficits, then they need to go back and put another budget out there, budget plan over 10 years that doesn't expand debt. They doubled the debt that they received from George W. Bush. Doubled the debt.
So what goes? That's great. We know that.
Well, I think
we know that. We've heard everybody say that.
I think Paul Ryan touched on it yesterday. I think the huge issue are entitlements. And there is no doubt about it. As Paul Ryan said, the retirement rates for Social Security is going to have to go up.
Right.
And if you are 55 or older, you're not going to be touched. But if you're 55 or younger, your retirement age is going to have to go up, because life expectancy was 62 when Social Security was put in place, and retirement age was 65. Now life expectancy goes to 78, 79, 80. So these numbers just don't add up. The same thing with Medicare. We're going to have to slow down the rate of growth in Medicare. But nobody's doing it. And so again, if the White House is serious, they need to go put another budget out there that doesn't double the debt that George W. Bush gave us. Again, I'm not talking about over the next 1 or 2 years, because you'll have liberals say, well, we've got to stimulate the economy.
Right.
No, I'm talking over the next decade. His plan over the next decade is devastating to this economy. It's unsustainable, according to the Congressional Budget Office. In fact, Mort, it's unsustainable according to Barack Obama. So what game are they playing? What game are the Republicans playing? What game is Washington playing here that they don't listen to Bernanke and others?
No, I think it is clearly unsustainable. And the fact is that nobody wants to take the action necessary because there are short-term political costs, and this is a country that has abandoned the ability to do that.
Yes.
Now, if you want to have an illustration of what should have been done, medical tort liability. Medical tort liability is a huge cost to our health care program, and the Democrats were unwilling to take on the trial lawyers.
Is it really?
Yes,
I have seen different numbers on tort. I don't disagree with it, actually, but I feel like that's the sort of easy way out for a Republican to make an argument as to what should change.
It's not an easy
what
way out.
What needs to be cut?
It causes what is called defensive medicine. A lot of doctors put a lot of extra costs into the healthcare system to avoid legal exposure. So where were the Democrats on that?
I agree with
that. Well, and the CBO says it's $54 billion that could have been saved, but they didn't want to save the money because it went against their special interests. But let's not re-debate that.